everyone, it's Caitlin with Kait's Collectibles, and today I'm going to be reviewing my 17-inch Disney Store limited edition Prince Phillip from Sleeping Beauty doll. So the Disney Store released a line of dolls for Sleeping Beauty when it came out on Blu-ray not that long ago here. I've already reviewed the blue Princess Aurora doll, and this is the Phillip that goes with her. So Prince Phillip in the movie kind of has two outfits. He has this more royal outfit, and then he has sort of his forest wandering outfit. And strangely enough, I was kind of hoping they would dress him in that just because I liked the little cap that he had on his head. However, this is a really obvious choice of why they would pick it, just because they could do a lot more in terms of detailing with it and making him look a little fancier for the price of the doll. Phillip was always one of my favorite classic Disney princes because he had a little bit of a personality compared to, say, Snow White's prince or even Cinderella's Prince Charming. Phillip had a little bit more personality, I think. So the box that they've got him in here, I like for the most part, but it seems kind of not very princely, I guess. He's got some detail. They kind of have Maleficent as the dragon highlighted throughout, I guess, because he fought her. Something of note with my particular doll is that I got the last one that my store had on that day, and unfortunately, this doll and I believe two of the Maleficents, fortunately not one of the ones I got, had pretty significant damage to the box. In his case, it's mostly the plastic cover, which I've taken off, and I'll show you the damage on it. Most of the time with these outer boxes, you're either going to get dents in them or you're going to get creases. So creases like that are the sort of damage you see on these, and he has a little bit of that going on. And then towards the bottom here, he's got that usual banner ribbon that highlights his edition size. So Phillip was an edition of 3,500 dolls. The male doll that they had done before this was Prince Eric, and so Phillip was only the second time they'd actually done a male doll for the lineup. And I think 3,500 was too ambitious a number, quite honestly, for these dolls. Phillip is probably not everybody's favorite male character. He's a little bit more of a niche character in that respect. And 3,500, it seems like it should be a very small number still because it's a worldwide number of dolls. But it took a very long time for poor Phillip to sell out online. And even now, buying him on the secondary market, you can basically get him at retail price. You shouldn't be paying 2 or 3 times his retail price to get him. He's just not that desired by collectors. So we'll take a look at the side of the box here. So similar sort of a pattern, nothing fancy, no real special detailing. The sort of reflective part on his box, a little hard to see. It's basically just a diamond pattern, nothing special. You can see that crease right here in his cardboard. So if I was someone that deboxed most of my dolls, this one would be a prime choice for me to potentially debox in the future due to a combination of his low resale value and the bit of damage to the box. In his case here on the top, you can also see a little bit of that reflecting pattern and that same detail around him. And the top of his head there is sort of secured. You can see just through the plastic, there's a little plastic tie back there. Most of these dolls have one of those that holds their head against the plastic, I guess, so that it doesn't shift. It just makes it a little awkward when you are deboxing to actually cut that out. So we'll lay him flat here and carefully take off his plastic or his cardboard cover. And I'll move him completely out of the way. And I'll show off the plastic casing. So he has that same pattern as on the rest of his box, just done in white on this part. The sides, the extra detail that he gets are just these little symbols right here on top and bottom. And here's some of that damage I'm talking about. So with the plastic cases, a couple of different types of damage that can happen. You either get these bends, these sort of bumped out creases in it, or every so often they get a weird streak. So most of the time when I've seen the streaks, they've been like a dark black streak that you can't, it looks like you should be able to scratch it off, but you can't. Sometimes I've seen that in white as well. More often than not, it's this kind of damage that happens to the plastic casing. Now for a doll like Phillip, because those creases are on the side, it really doesn't bother my enjoyment of the doll. But it is something to be aware of, because if you buy a doll where there's a great big crease in the plastic right on the front and you plan on keeping the doll in the package, obviously you're going to be staring at the doll through a big crease. So Phillip here is standing in front of Sleeping Beauty's castle with all the thorns around it in the background, sort of ready to storm in and fight the dragon and save the princess. His hair is very stiff. They've basically taken an insane amount of hair gel and slicked that right down. So there's no give to it whatsoever. One of the big complaints from the doll community was his face, because he really doesn't look a lot like the character. Much like Prince Eric, they've got the essential feel of the character, but his face, to me anyway, really doesn't look like the animated Phillip at all. However, he does have some nice details. His outfit is really, really beautiful. It's got this sort of soft velvety material with lots of this beautiful detailed stitching. You can see at the collar of his cape, he's got these dragons stitched in there. I only noticed those as actually being dragons for the first time not that long ago. Same with on the chest, he's got the sword going down the center, and then what sort of looks like Maleficent as the dragon swirled around it on both sides. They've done this nice stitching on his puffy print sleeves. Reminds me a little bit of Enchanted whenever I see sleeves like that. The belt also has some stitching across his midsection, and then a little bit more at the bottom of his tunic here. His shield is absolutely dead on what it looked like in the cartoon, so I love the way they did that. And I like that it's nice and stiff, that they didn't try and cheap out on the material there. It's nice solid plastic. And then they've also got his sword here. I like the way the handle is on that. It's too bad that it's just sort of held in place with plastic on his hand, and his hand can't actually grip it. His cape flows down all the way here. They've got this gold trim, the more pale gold on the inside. Feels really nice, very royal. Nice tights. And I really like his boots, actually. Like, they do look like the sort of boots he would have just jumped off the horse and stormed in with. They're not too frilly, not too fancy. They've got sort of a pseudo leather texture printed on them, but they feel a little bit plasticky, more of a pleather. And you can see the stand base holding him in place there. Now, as usual, his certificate is found underneath in that little pocket. So I'll turn him down to the side here. So there's my certificate of authenticity for him. So you can see that diamond pattern on it in a lighter red against the darker red background, and a gold shimmer with the dragon sword motif in the center. And because he's an edition size of 3500, I ended up with doll 1518, so almost exactly the middle of the production line. And nothing fancy about the back either, just the French. So I would say that if the Disney princes are kind of your thing, then obviously you'd want to get Phillip, because he's only the second doll that they've done in this line of male dolls for the 17 inches. Similarly, if Sleeping Beauty's your favorite movie, probably an easy choice to have him in your collection. If you're sort of humming and hawing over him and you've got other dolls from the lineup that you like better, or you're thinking about a different series of dolls, you could probably skip him for now, because he's still very inexpensive to get through somewhere like eBay, Kijiji, Craigslist, any of those secondary sales sites. And I don't really anticipate his price is going to suddenly skyrocket up anytime soon. So he's certainly one you could wait on, but if you're wanting to have a complete collection, he's a must-have for that reason. So as I've said in the past, you can find me on Twitter now. I'm at Kait Collectible on Twitter. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe to my videos if you like seeing these. If there's something in particular that you'd like to see me review, one of the limited edition dolls, maybe something different that's Disney, or if you just have a question, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. Thanks!